unknown who shaped our past and continue to inspire our future in every field of human endeavor, education, civil rights, technology, and more. Celebrating Women's History Month, we are KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Parenting styles, again, think of self-consumed, not just NPD, but it can be that too. The first is neglectful. Whether they're emotionally neglectful or they're really not present, it's like the parent who feels like almost like a stranger. There's the immature style, which might require the child to be the parent. Things like emotional incest, surrogate spouse, parentification, a needy parent, a parent who can't tolerate abandonment. They might do a lot of attention seeking. Another narcissistic parenting style is overbearing, super critical, super infantilizing, super controlling, enmeshed, highly anxious, super neurotic. Another is overwhelming, which looks like the prior one, but I mean more that in like the terror-inducing parent, highly intrusive parent, the energy vampire parent, the parent who lives vicariously through you, which is like this parent is like a force to be reckoned with. Then there's something I call just simply mind effers. These are the competitive narcissistic parent, the parent who is they're the only ones who are ever right, the jealous parent, the vindictive parent, the gaslighter, the parent who is dismissive of a child's reality and their self, the parent who easily...
Listen, Patrick is cooking. Patrick Teehan, he's cooking. But if you got any of what he's talking about, I'm sure you got a little bit of shame. Do you understand? We run to relationships, the worst place to run to. I don't care how good it's been, for how long. At some point, what hasn't been dealt with will come to the surface. And whatever conflict management skills, tools you have, we're going to see how good you are at using them. See, conflict is the conduit for growth. Not if you're an avoidant. Avoidance see any level of criticism or tough conversations or conflict as a personal attack in a lot of ways. Anxious preoccupieds want to know. Let's go ask. Fearful avoidant is both, depending on which way they're leaning at the time. Man, shame is virtual in this society with this level of unhealed wounds walking around. Come on, man. Everybody's got some kind of shame, and it must be dealt with. Look at how Dr. David R. Hawkins frames it. Shame does not exist. It vibrates. Ooh, let that just, oh my goodness. Shame does not exist. It vibrates at 20 hertz. Dr. David R. Hawkins' map of consciousness places shame just above death. It's zombie love out here in these streets if you're unhealed. Listen, go get his book. Quincy Jones is the one who told me to read it for the very first time. And that book is Power versus Force. But like I said, there's a whole series of those. Power versus Force, the hidden determinants of human behavior. Dr. David R. Hawkins, MD, PhD. Go check it out. All right? Dr. David R. Hawkins' map of consciousness places shame just above death. a psychic black hole, collapsing selfhood into fractal echoes of ancestral betrayal. Who was the latest and the first? Listen, two things are right at the same time. Who was the latest and the first ancestor to betray you? It was your primary caregiver, according to Bowlby, John Bowlby, Mary Ainsworth, and the many people who have come after them. Do you see? The latest and the first. And then you continue the generational legacy of suppression, repression, of coping mechanisms. Do you see? Shame finds its way into your relationship, and the question becomes, is it there just because you packed it in your suitcase and you carried it with you? No, it's there as a catalyst for growth. Soon as it gets rocky, I'ma pop up. Now, you're left at the moment of truth. How do you deal with your shame when it pops up? Do you see? Tonight's topic, we posit shame not as an emotion, but as an epigenetic quantum code, a holographic program that Thomas Campbell talked about that entangles oppressed and oppressor in karmic loops until cellular memory transmutes it into divine fuel. You can use shame to elevate. People always say it, and they say it like it's just so easy. Raise your vibration. If you're vibrating, you're alive. But this is the lowest level of vibration. So maybe this is what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant means when she alludes to people being low vibrational. Maybe this is the point she's trying to bring home. Right? I'll give her that. Neurobiological crucibles, shame as mitochondrial warfare. Chronic shame, per Patricia DeYoung, corrodes the anterior cingulate cortex, the neural bridge between Carl Rogers' self-regard and Jean Piaget's cognitive schemas. fMRI scans reveal subjects drowning in shame exhibit prefrontal deactivation mirroring dissociative states. That's Schiraldi, Glenn R. Schiraldi, author of the book, The Self-Esteem Workbook, right? Their amygdala hijacked by cortisol tsunamis. Bruce Lipton's epigenetics suggest maternal shame during pregnancy. Methylates fetal NR3C1 genes, priming guilt, shame as homeostasis. Wait a minute. Homeostasis is when you're normal, when everything is balanced. Homeostasis. Talking about the central nervous system here. If it's in the genes, shame becomes normal, guilt becomes normal. Do you see what I'm... And Zinga was just on here, and I'm going to get back to her. She telling me all these grandmamas that I was in a bunch of grandmamas. And finally my mama was born. Then I was, come on. If they're holding that shame, is it deposited into me? A spiritual curriculum that must be dealt with by me, or it passes on? Black women bearing Queen Afua's womb trauma inherit mitochondrial shame mutations that sabotage relational choices, a biological curse or alchemical blueprint. Listen, I keep trying to tell you, just because we named it shame and its claim to fame, right, is to break one down, is to be, like it said, to be embarrassed, to hide, to be shown up. Listen, shame can be an elevator for growth. It is an alchemical catalyst to growing, but you have to shift it. Why? Why do you have to shift it? And how do I know it's an alchemical catalyst? It's very simple. As above, so below. So below, as above. Do you understand? The great Kabbalion teaches even the lowest of the low can be transmuted into the highest of the high. You just have to shift your perspective. Now, if it becomes an archetypal name that has this, like Lucifer, as soon as you hear, oh Lord, here he go. No, sir. We don't play with him. That's because, for instance, let me not use Lucifer, because that'll turn into a whole dissertation, right? But let's just say the serpent. The word in Hebrew is nakas, the whisperer. Nakash, the whisperer. It also means divination, but it literally means whisperer. Some English dude said, nah, we're going to say serpent, because a serpent hisses. And over generations, because they use the iconography of serpents, people scared of snakes because of its representation in the Bible. In the Quran, it's Al-Kanas, the whisperer. Whisperer, not serpent, like not snake. Do you see? So imagine all this stuff coming into you. Right? Black women bearing Queen Afua's womb trauma inherit mitochondrial shame mutations that sabotage relationship choices, a biological curse, or an alchemical blueprint. It doesn't have to be a curse. The curse is contingent upon your perspective. Now, if you go out into the relationship talk world, are they preaching curses or the alchemical blueprint? All I know is a man has to make $200,000 a year. He got to pay for me. I know I work, but I keep my money. His money is our money. My money is my... Wait, hold on. She can't wear them big old eyelashes. That's one thing she can't do. Them push brooms, them caterpillars on her eyes, I don't want to see it. If I see glue on your forehead, listen, glue on your forehead is a turnoff. Man, I got caught up in the rabbit hole. Watching the balloon pop show. I said, what in the Feast of Samhain is going on here? Man walk out, pop, 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 pop. What? And what in the world? I didn't like the way his pants fit. And then his shoes, those shoes was hot like 4 years ago. And, what? Huh? What? You know what? Pop. Why you pop your balloon? Ain't she? Well, she said she was 27, but her face was wrinkled like an old change purse my big mama used to carry in her brassiere. No! This is a whole show that's happening. This is what we're choosing to talk about. So, can it be this repeat of toxicity? Yes. But should it be? No. It can be an alchemical blueprint. We can take the shame that lives in us and turn it into something else. I got callers on the line. I want to get them in here real quick. Nzinga, can I get your final thought?
Hello?
Yeah, you back with me. Talk to me, sugar.
Oh, okay. So you had said, what do I do to put one foot in the other, in front of the other?
Yes.
I would say psychoeducation. For me, getting rid of the negativity bias trails in my brain.
Ooh.
And I'm forging some new paths. Because I go there by default. And so just grace and gratitude, because I'm doing this for me, because like you talked about the healing versus the growth. I think you're stunted until you take a little accountability for yourself and realize that, some things need to be addressed. And then you can begin. I think that's where the growth is. So I'm doing this for me, but I'm doing this for my mom too.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you judge yourself negatively? 1 being, hardly ever, 10 being most of the time. Where are you?
Okay, well, I was at an 11.
Ooh.
But grace is a great thing because as I give it to myself, I can give it a little more freely to others. So I would say right now I'm at like maybe a 7, but I call out things. Whatever I'm feeling, I call it out. And I don't, where I was kind of judging myself and getting upset, I'm at a point where when I find myself like maybe dwelling on the past or in a shame, whatever I'm going through, I'll call it out. And it's like maybe I made a wrong turn, so now I just got to make a U-turn where you're not upset you got to make a U-turn, but you just know you got to go in a different direction. And so ultimately I'll get to the point where I'm just observing things. So
come on, Nzinga. Come on, you safe here. I hear you talking. You so sweet. I love it, man. Let's all pour some love, some honeydew melon love on Nzinga for sharing. Man, you were transparent. I appreciate you so much for sharing that because I know that that's not an easy thing to do. You said you were a 7. You know what I'm saying? And that's not an easy thing to acknowledge. And the fact that you can acknowledge what's really going on, that's a sign of advancement, of growth, of expansion, right? And let me tell you something.
And I celebrate myself, too.
You should, girl. What you finna go
I
do?
never used to, but...
What you finna go do?
Probably go to Chili's Friday.
Come on. What we eating at Chili's?
2 for 1.
Come on. 2 for 1?
2 for 1 margaritas, yes, Lord. But, yeah, I'm going to yield to the other people. Thank you so much, Zoe. I appreciate you. And Pensacola in the building.
Pensacola, Florida is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the house, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, one of our favorites, 2 of our favorites. You already know what it is. As a matter of fact, why don't you hook him up right now so he'll get an idea. Our good friend is on his way. Y'all know who he is. JW from South Central. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news. A CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You know you want some more. More. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm wondering exactly, who were your biggest support systems, and if you had anybody in your life that maybe did not understand.
Great question. I don't think I've had anybody in my life who didn't understand. Mm-hmm. Now, I also think when confessing, there's this notion of like scraping the pot clean. So guys are awful. People are awful, but I'll speak to my experience mostly with guys. Are awful at coming clean with whatever it was they're doing. And my therapist at the time gave me this analogy. It's like scraping a pot of chili when you're done cooking. You reach in, you think you got it all. Then it's like, wait, nope, there's more. So we got to keep going in. I think when the pot is scraped clean or clean enough, that's where more freedom can be accessed, right? So again, there's not a lot of shame that's being held behind. Now, sharing your story is really hard. So I made this declaration 5 years ago when I did a workshop. And my declaration was, I'm going to share my story with 5 people in Phoenix because I want to be a catalyst for hope and healing for men in their marriages. That was like the scariest thing ever 5 years ago, was to share this story with 5 people. Oh, yeah. And since then, I've shared in many different settings at churches, in other secular environments as well. I lead these groups. And now here we are doing this podcast. The point is sharing your story and doing it in a way to where you can draw people into empathy and compassion instead of judgment is important. And I think to do that, you have to be genuine about it. If I was sitting here telling this story and talking about, porn and sex addiction and why it's bad, blah, 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 but I still have a problem. All right, you're going to see right through that. Then I also think, I've kind of plumbed the depths of this thing with, again, where did that pain come from? Mm-hmm. And so with my story, again, with my mom dying when I was 5 and that leading to a destabilization of where do I get love from? Yeah. I had to dive into that. And so I actually called people who knew my mom. So my mom.
Oh, I can empathize with the brother. Oh, I can empathize with him. But you do know that Sometimes it's just about rewording it, just like I'm asking you to recontextualize this concept of shame as an alchemical blueprint for elevation, right? Why not recontextualize the desire? Listen to what he just said. Where am I going to get love from? After my mom died, right? She died when what did he say? When he was 5 years old. He said, so where do I get love? We have to understand that should never be a desire. Who's going to love me? Right? That should never be a desire. Who's going to love me? Why? Because you are love. Once you become love, you'll see love everywhere, and love will be drawn to you. It'll gravitate. It'll find you. But what I'm trying to say is, unhealed wounds are like the fly in the ointment. It obscures the true sight of love. And the more we identify with the fly in the ointment, proverbially speaking, right? The more we identify with that, the more we get caught up and we get anxiety, we get worried, then there's fear, then there's guilt, and I made a mistake. Then we get self-critical. Do you see? We've got callers on the line. J.W., South Central Los Angeles. You know we want to hear from J-Dub. J-Dub, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
First of all, Mom's was home. The hospice people brought her home.
All right.
So praise God for all the prayers and all the above.
Thank you.
The move straight, yes, sir. The move straight into the subject matter. I mentioned on previous shows about pain is a good teacher. I would like to equate pain with shame. And then I would like to say, based on all the physical traits and terminologies that you express, these are physical things that are in the earthly realm. And, just to paraphrase the word of God, Satan has dominion over that earthly realm, but God has, or over flesh, and God has dominion over spirit. And in terms of you mentioning healing in the process, this is a spiritual conditioning that takes place. And over past shows, I would mention the word trestle board. I think you know what I'm talking about, and some other people do too. But for the ones that don't,
wait, hold on 1 second. We up against the clock. Stay with me. I want you to finish. You actually cooking, J-Dub. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, brother. When we come forward, more from South Central Los Angeles.
Ain't no way that you're gonna sit us down. Gonna dance till we burn this disco ball.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Lauren Boebert is standing by her, quote, pimp cane, end quote, comment about African-American Rep. Al Green. In an interview, the Colorado Republican dismissed a censor resolution saying Green shouldn't have shaken his pimp cane at President Trump during his congressional address. Asheville, North Carolina must revise its action plan to receive federal aid. HUD Secretary Scott Turner, who was black, urged the city to remove diversity, equity, and inclusion, citing a section prioritizing women in minority-owned businesses. A new poll shows most Los Angeles residents are unhappy with Black Mayor Karen Bassett's wildfire response. Less than 20% rate her handling as good, while 41% call it poor. And New Yorkers honored civil rights icon Hazel Dukes at a Harlem service. Governor Kathy Hochul, Hillary Clinton, and Black Mayor Eric Adams paid tribute to the longtime NAACP leader who passed away March 1st at 92. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The CONCACAF Nations League finals arrive at SoFi Stadium March 20th to 23rd. USA versus Panama, followed by Canada versus Mexico. Get your tickets now on Ticketmaster. For more information, visit CONCACAFNationsLeague.com/tickets.
A new day is on the horizon.
Behind every great moment in history, there's a woman whose story went untold. This March on KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing those hidden narratives to light. Hear extraordinary stories of women who transformed science, politics, arts, and community. Women you've never heard of, but should know. Celebrating Women's History Month on KBLA Talk 1580, where every story matters.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I also noticed as a clinician, that I was often dealing with people who had been accused in one way or another, often by themselves, of some malfeasance. And if someone was feeling very guilty and was depressed, for example, which is that's a situation where the adversary is within and is eating your soul, so to speak, you have to mount a strong defense. And, that means that you should take a very careful look at your weaknesses and your transgressions, but you should do that from the initial presumption of innocence. You have to get your ducks in order so that you can justify to yourself your own claims of innocence. And that means you also have to learn to do that without a kind of careless self-righteousness, and also without that proclivity to move toward more extreme views, which does also lurk as a temptation under such circumstances.
Wow. You know who it is? Listen, anybody that speaks a word of wisdom will have a platform here with the Voice of Reason. I'm not looking at you as the person, right? I don't look at people that way. We're all flawed, so I can't look at you as or anyone as some type of standard. I mean, think about how blown away we were when we see Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan is exceptional, but then when you realize the person has struggles, or Mike Tyson, you say, oh my God, look at this kid, he's destroying everybody, but then he also has internal problems. So no one is beyond that. Even Superman got kryptonite. It's really that simple. Let me get my brother in here. JW from South Central, get in here, my friend, and finish it up. Wrap up your thought, my friend.
Yeah, just to make this landing, that trestle board or chalkboard, the lesson from that is to connect to the human being. The key word is being. We are beings living a human experience. Mm-hmm. And we got to accept ourselves of who we truly are, that spirit within us that animates the human body or the flesh or the external human part that lives in this world realm. And we've been pretty much polluted with external forces in terms of society and suggestions and opinions and acceptance and what's right and how they dictate to us. And we have to stop trying to rationalize or justify using that brain from a physical or worldly perspective, and go within internal and deal with the connection of true love, and the source is God, and know that we're connected to Him, and use that internal force, which will be the catalyst that free us from this worldly plane, which is God is unlimited, and the world is limited to the world system. And I'm going to leave it at that, but I think the consciousness and having a mind shift, a paradigm shift, will raise all of us. Goodbye.
Thank you, my brother. J-Dub, South Central Los Angeles. up in here cooking. He said, oh, hey, man, I'm going to let J-Dub have his say. Why not? I'm with him, man. Listen, I got time for my next caller, right? Oh, we're good then. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, here we go. Attila, Houston, Texas. Here we go. Let's go. What are your thoughts? What are your
we
thoughts?
Not gonna do? What we not gonna do is throw your niece.
Come on, niece.
I had a long, hard day. Okay, I got a lot of brain fog going on. Forgive me.
Nah, you all good. But what are your thoughts on this shame
I can't wait
thing?
until tomorrow.
I don't know how they're gonna act tomorrow, right?
It's gonna be insane. I can't wait. I have questions. So you had said, are you under attack or under construction? Reconstruction, sorry. What if the attack is the reconstruction? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of it from the perspective of someone who is sitting in intense shame. I don't know the difference between the two, right? Both of them look the same. Angels and demons look alike.
Right.
So could you kind of expound upon how we are to differentiate the difference between the two? What does it take in terms of the inner work and the healing that we need to do to recognize the difference between the two? That someone coming to you in I guess you could say, a form of loving rebuke is not an attack, but for your reconstruction. What does that look like?
So first off, we have to get rid of the binary fairy tale Disney construct of good and evil. See, at a binary level, white, black, good, bad, God, devil. See, this is very binary thinking, right? But what you don't understand is God, as the source, is beyond all of that, which is why a lot of Christians stay away from Isaiah 45:7. When God says he is light and darkness, he is good and evil. All of this stuff he does by his leave. So when you use terminology, again, we don't use language. Language uses us, as the great Krishnamurti would say, right? So when you use language like, man, is that an angel helping me? We think that's good happening for me. Or if bad is happening, well, the devil is busy. First off, the devil has no authority. If you're really reading a book, right? The devil is like an agent that works for God's insurance company. Like, the devil goes out on God's missions. People don't realize that. So if I were to use, say, the 5% nation that was created by Clarence 13X, known as Puddin', right? Because he always was putting brothers in check, right? He left the Nation of Islam. He was under Malcolm X. He goes back into the streets and he creates the Nation of Gods and Earths, the 5% nation. Well, in their doctrine, they also talk about how in order to build, you must destroy. So sometimes people will label an attack because, again, if we're looking at Timothy Leary's 8-brain circuit, right, this model of this 8-circuit model of the brain, that first circuit is the oral biosurvival circuit. Is it safe? Nope, I will retreat. Let me suck my thumb. This is the lowest level of spiritual infancy. So we label things. If it's happening and it's good for me, God did it. If it's happening and it's bad for me, the devil did it. The reality of it is God is doing it all. Good, bad, and indifferent. God is the hidden hand behind it all. So certain egoic scaffolding or constructs must be dismantled in order for you to level up to newness. Now, if you're talking, well, newness is actually nowness. Because, again, if we put new, we tend to go, okay, this is brand new. It has no use. It has no wear on it. But really, new is just now. Many of us are looking for a new moment while disrespecting the only moment we can be in, which is the now. So really, the new moment is the recognition of the perpetual now that we're in. we give so much power and so much credence to the past. Do you see what I'm saying? The past dictates everything, right? So many of us are afraid to discard everything we've accumulated, the way we speak, our culture, what we're open to try and what we're not. So many of us are afraid to get rid of all of this scaffolding because we've identified with it. Do you see? So when you say, am I under attack? I would say, depending on your perspective and where you are consciously, how you've evolved, you may have evolved in a situation that will see this as an attack, but it's all about perspective. Does that make sense?
Well, I think we personify shame, right? Like,
here we
go. Have become shame. Well, this is so it's interesting that you speak about kind of biblically, because this is reminding me of Proverbs, where it talks about, like, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but profuse are the kisses of the enemy.
Come on.
Right? So we associate wounding with the enemy, but it's actually the opposite. You can go even further. It talks about when Christ was being injured, that it pleased God to wound him. Like, what?
What?
Yes.
Keep going.
So I think our relationship with shame is actually, like, symbolic or somewhat representative of our relationship with our parent, which is it's related to our relationship with God. If we see our parent as that domineering force, God ultimately is this God that is going to punish you type of thing, or God is this ultimate benevolent, right? To me, that's kind of like the archetypes of what Patrick Teahan was speaking to, the enmeshment. There was some other things he talked about, the different types of narcissistic parenting. I mean, I say all that to say that we truly are shaped by our environments, and we're shaped by the people who have said, I love you, but also wound us. And I think perhaps we should normalize that both are actually present within the same person, and it's actually okay, because you're going to end up doing the same thing.
So wait a
whether
minute.
You want to or not.
Wait a minute, because you cooking with some of the finest ingredients that I have yet to be exposed to. I love it. Or are you saying, even if you discard a person, you're still going to get the same ingredients, the same menu, just repackaged in another person until you transcend this? Because it sounded like a cycle to me.
Dress it up. Yeah, we like to dress it up, add a little bit of seasoning to it, and think that we're eating another dish. Like, nah, bro, it's the same. It's the same ingredients. I think we try to make soul food out of our wounds. You feel me? Like, we want to take the scraps and, like, create this new dish and, like, look at this, but you still get high blood pressure, though.
Wait a minute.
The effects are still the same.
Wait a minute. Are you saying we just replating? It's just
basically.
Oh my God. We on fire tonight. I love it. Don't you go nowhere. When we come forward, I'm going to go back to Houston, Texas for my niece's final words. This is good.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ROCK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 42424. That's ROCK to 42424.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I once hurt someone very much. Why is the feeling of guilt such a deep, tenuous one that endures in spite of everything? I once hurt someone very much. Why is the feeling of guilt such a deep, tenuous, tenacious, beg your pardon, tenacious one that endures in spite of every effort to be free of it, right? You've understood the question? Do you feel guilt?
Listen, I love Krishnamurti like the next guy, but we got to put him on earlier because Krishnamurti is like the old Superman. He needs room to run and then start flying. He just don't jump right. he needs a runway to start flying. But they done turned on the music on Krishnamurti. Don't do Murti like that, man. Oh, my goodness. Let me get my niece back in here to get her final thought on tonight's topic.
Don't be disrespecting Murty like that. Now, come on now.
Come on. That was Ann Dizzle. Ann Dizzle hit him with the Price is Right.
Indian uncle. That's my Indian uncle. He the reason why I got that wave in my hair. You feel me? Don't be doing my Uncle T.O. Murty like that. What's wrong with you? Put some respect on his name.
Oh,
but I'm stupid. I'm going to say one last thing. So I realized in my therapy, in terms of shame, I have a shame wound, I think, that has been like bubbling for a really, really long time. And I think it is in the area of performance and perfectionism. And my mom has the same wound, okay? Like the same wound. I think a lot of the things that I saw her do growing up, it worked for her. And I was convinced it would work for me, and it has not. You feel me?
Different
so
path.
Let me just
yeah.
say,
Yeah.
like, and I think that there is a beauty in messiness, and I'm learning to embrace that. But man, is it hard.
It is. It is. And let me just say, I appreciate you for being so transparent. I mean, I got a whole myriad of wounds, and worthiness wound, all that stuff, right? And just to be able to get on here, yeah, man, perfectionism, the whole nine.
One more.
Go ahead.
There's one more. I'm gonna be honest. I think I've also been ashamed of being vulnerable enough to actually admit that I want to give my heart to somebody. And I think the reason why that is kind of a gatekeeper in terms of relationship is because without vulnerability, what do you really have in a relationship?
And boy,
so I think
don't put no shame on top of vulnerability, then it get ugly. Look,
and then you find yourself kind of acting out in different ways that are unbecoming, right? It's not even really you. You're speaking from a place of, like I said, guilt, shame, and whatever else. It's like it's the 5-year-old you responding to the adult version of your partner. So I say all that to say, like, I think it's great when we learn to be free. And I think if we can do that, like, little by little, we should. So that's it.
Hey, guess what you just did, niece?
All right, Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas in the building. Let me tell you something. The homeboy, Corte, let me just get his name right. Dr. Corte. He said something, he gave me a great compliment. He was like, man, you got a hell of a community. He called y'all a community. The Voice of Reason is a community, man, and I really love that. Let me just let you know, though, shame becomes attack or construction through vibrational choice. To dismantle the CIA's MK Ultra programming, Blackmore, Thich Nhat Hanh's mindfulness must fracture neuroplastic calcification, right, in boomer amygdala. For black women, Queen Afua's womb rituals could alchemize mitochondrial shame into Erykah Badu's bag lady liberation if they reject respectability quantum lure. Oh, I know y'all not ready for what I'm on. Rumi's wound where light enters demands we stop metabolizing shame as trauma and start burning it as Hawkins radiation. Hawkins radiation from black holes. Come on, I can keep going. Neuralink chips may soon detect cortisol spirals, but will they trigger Marshall Rosenberg's needs scripts or amplify the AI-driven shame singularity? We got so much more to talk about. Listen, I start the conversations. It's really up to you to finish them. The Voice of Reason is always on fire. Tomorrow's my Friday. I hope you tune in because I'm going to be ready to cook yet again.
Everything will be all right. He assures her, but she doesn't hear a word that he said. Preoccupied, she's afraid what they've been doing's not right.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Department of Education is being dismantled. Staff were told to vacate headquarters by 6 p.m. Tuesday.